thought you were going to count to 5 and go.
Oh, is it me that's doing it?
Did we not just discuss this?
Oh,
Right.
sorry, I was too busy doing the post there.
So how soft do you want to get into this? Anyway, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. The podcast has now been running for about 13 seconds. Mr.
Oh.
Yavolton has messed it up again. Right,
Started
so anyway,
straight away. Brilliant.
let's move over to Chris, who was supposed to do the introductions and get us started tonight. And we'll see how he gets on now that he knows that he's actually alive.
Okay, how we doing, guys? Thanks for watching. As always, we've got our feedback section tonight. We've got our Alien of the Week for both PlayStation and PC. And if you've got any questions, please get them over to Formula Racing League 0@gmail.com. You've also got the website for everything, including merch, standings, everything you need to know about the league, etc. on formularacingligue.com. We've got a special guest tonight, as always, James, when he likes to show his mush on the camera so that we can hear his dulcet tones to get a wee roundup of what's happening in the world of FRL.
Nothing.
Nothing. Right, thanks. See you, James. No, as always, hosted by myself and Dell. My name's Chris, better known as Yavolton on the Discord, and you've got Dell7840, and James himself, the CEO, the man of the moment. He's always going to kind of keep us right, keep us in tow, so he's Mr. Chaperone this evening.
He's so far up the totem pole, he's growing through his hair.
Aye. What?
I'm not saying anything.
That actually does not make sense whatsoever. So,
Right.
hi,
Hello.
So,
let's do it.
have we got any emails or websites to talk about?
Just going to have a wee look now. The emails have I think they're kind of dying a death. People are not using the email function, they're just using the live chat, so I might as well
No,
stick
that's
with that.
fine.
I'll check the
We can stick
emails
with that.
as well.
Georgie has came in the chat straight away and said, "Hello, gentlemen."
Excellent, George.
That's an early entrance for him.
Yes.
So
just-
tonight, James, we should have a few things to talk about,
Oh, right.
did we not? Or did we blast through everything on the podcast?
Well, I suppose the couple of things we probably need to talk about is the Super Race qualifiers, which have
Yep,
been
that
done.
was last night.
Yeah. Driver ratings, which probably might need someone to actually explain what it's about if it's not already been done.
We
And
tou-
why?
Tried to explain
we
it
touched
last.
on it a little bit, yeah.
Aye,
Okay,
I think.
cool.
I knew you were coming on this week, so we didn't get delving deep into it.
Good, because you might be able to explain it to me too.
Well, it's your idea. I would hope you have a little bit of an idea.
Shit, right, cut, start again,
So-
again.
Are you telling us that the wife made this idea up and just pretended to be you?
Generally, what's happened.
The 1-year-old
I'm
child.
You don't need to do a double ping because the
I've
bot's
not
already
done
done
another
the ping.
thing that I've done. I've just posted, that's it. So,
Probably have a good shout out about the 6 hours of Spa, and what we've got up and coming, potentially a driver swap on PlayStation if people actually like the idea.
Right.
So yeah, I think those are probably some good topics. I'm glad we've rehearsed and talked about this beforehand,
Yes.
and really
been
could have
rehearsing all day.
So here's a question. We'll start off maybe with the 6 hours of Spa and the idea that we had on doing the comms. We tested it out. I think it went quite well.
Mhm.
I suppose we could start with that, and then I've got a question that can go to the end of it. If we want to go ahead and try that. So how did you find it when you were on there with me for most of it, talking most of it, more than I was?
Sorry, I almost just dropped my keyboard on the floor. So it didn't feel like 6 hours. That was probably the best thing about it. It didn't feel like I went out, I walked the dog, and did normal things. But it didn't feel like it was just commentary for 6 hours. It didn't feel strenuous boredom, as what it can be. It was actually just a general chit chat for a good couple of hours, which was quite nice, with just some racing being played on in the background. So from that perspective, it wasn't an arduous task to be able to do it.
Yeah.
I think it hopefully added something different, something a bit fun. We got some decent views for it. I think we had just over 700, which isn't quite the 1200 we had for Monza, but that was for double the length of time.
So yeah, it's also
Um,
half the length. So
yeah, I think it worked really, really well, and I think it's definitely something which we would do again, especially for the longer events, for the shorter
yeah,
events, like the Fridays. Wouldn't really have chance to be able to sit there and talk,
yeah.
but definitely for the longer endurance events, it's I think it makes it a lot more fun for us.
Think it helps out. It makes it a bit more personal as well.
Yeah.
Especially with trying to get some of the drivers in.
Hmm.
Um, we we decided late on in the week before the event that we would try it out, and we didn't have as much time to get drivers, but we still managed to get at least 4 or 5. Was it 4 or 5 drivers gone?
Aye. Well, I was one of the drivers, and I was
You don't
always looking
count.
forward to
You
coming
did
back
well,
in and
Chris, didn't you?
I had a fantastic race, one of the
Yeah.
best races I've ever had. Not.
Ruined
Um,
the entire team's race, I think, wasn't it?
Typical, but that won't happen ever again because I've solved that problem this evening.
Oh,
Have
did
you?
you?
You've turned it off and turned it back on again.
Updated all the
I've
windows?
just deleted the game, and I'm never going to take part in anything ever again. No,
Oh.
no, I look forward to racing and then clicking off the race, switching driver when we could, and then coming in and getting on the comms and getting involved. And it was just a proper hodgepodge medley of madness. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah,
I think we lost track of the race for about 45 minutes at one point. We're just talking absolute mince. Then we're like,
Well,
oh, the race is on, let's get back to this.
if you watch the F1 commentary, for instance, they are talking about the race, but they're talking as if they're friendly too. And we're just taking that one step further. We are actually friends that just sit there to watch the race and watch the race go round.
yeah, it made life a whole lot easier. So I'm trying to get it the way of the wheel. It made it a lot easier, and it passed the time so much easier than, like I said, I did 2 hours on the Monza, 12 hours, just constant. And I wanted to turn the computer off afterwards. In fact, I just decided to turn my wheel off instead. But yeah, it made it a lot more
Happens to the
fun.
best of us.
Yeah, it made it a lot more fun. I think it passed the time. It made it a bit more interactive. Teams were requesting their driver to be shown on the screen, so we'd
Yeah.
kind of run away and frantically click shift and up arrow or left arrow until we could find. I find an easier way to do that.
Yeah, there
than
should
leaving
be
them
a list. There should be a list of them. I'm punching my microphone just in case anybody hears it. So my question that was relating to that was this.
No.
I quite liked it on the PC and it went very well. So I think for the longer ones, like you say, we'll try and keep that around. It also it gives me somebody to talk to when I'm doing the stewarding as well because it has long periods. The question would be: there's a possibility of an endurance event like you were saying coming up on PS. Wonder if we could not do the same thing on PlayStation. Obviously, you wouldn't be able to have the automatic going through the cameras, but someone could flick through the cameras and flick through the names.
Hopefully there's a hot fix before it happens.
I doubt it. I don't think they'll fix
it
that for
won't-
a long time.
Yeah, I don't think the comms bit will be fixed on PS5 for a very long time.
No.
So, yes, it can be done. However, I think there will be added complications. Whereas if I switch to Chris in PC, you can easily see that it's one car that's moved over. If I do an hour stint and then I jump out of the server for then Chris to jump back in, you're not really going to be able to have a good tally of how many laps people are doing, and that's where I think there will be massive complications. However, someone in our server sent me a stream of another group of drivers who did this previously,
Right.
and it was a little bit different to ours. So I just probably need to have a little bit of a look at that and see if there's better, different ways to be able to do it. I just haven't had time.
The suggestion that I'd said to some of the guys was teams of two.
Mhm.
each member of your team races in one server each. Two
Yeah,
servers running alongside each other, 3 hours. That means you've got an accumulated total time of 6 hours of driving between both drivers, and both those times are tallied up. And obviously most laps down to the second, because we can now do that screenshot that shows that exact laps and time. I think would be a possible solution to it. Obviously we've got one PS4 server. I'm sure we could perhaps hire another one just for a day or so.
Yep. That server, the server thing isn't an issue. I think it's just trying to keep track of the 2 servers and exactly what's happening in them, and have a stream that's going across 2 servers that adds extra complications. There's ways and means of being able to do it. We just need to kind of bang
I
our
have
heads
an
together and figure out a way.
I have an idea on how we could possibly stream the 2 streams on one screen.
You need a capture card, don't you?
No, we could. Yeah, I think it would have to test it, but I think I have a way of doing it, which we can discuss after the podcast, of where we can have.
Talk to it.
Tell us now.
Well, what you would do is, let's say for instance, Christopher does a stream on the one side, on the one server. I would stream from the other server. And what you do is you stream it we both stream it to our YouTubes through the PlayStation. Then what I'll do is I will stream both of those YouTubes on the same screen on mine.
On OBS?
Yeah, and it'll come through to Twitch on one screen. Both videos.
Brilliant idea.
It needs to be
Brilliant
tested
idea.
to see how well it works, but it should be fine.
I think that's definitely
But
workable.
we'll give it a try. And also, what it means is that we would actually be able to. I think it would work out well, because, like you're saying, the laps are going to be different, and it's not always easy to commentate perfectly on it. I think the wee podcast idea that we had would also help, because it's mostly just talking and watching a stream.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I think we could make that work.
Yeah, there's those 2 options. There's the 2 separate servers, which could work, or there's potentially a way to do the driver swaps. But then I think someone suggested you have to have sequential numbers, so it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. Again, there's just more work, research that needs to be done on it, and banging of heads together to be able to get it. So yeah, I think it's a possibility. It's just trying to figure out a good date to be able to do it, and people who want to do it as well. So obviously we did it on PS4 last time. I think we had a maximum of 18 drivers in there, which worked well, apart from some interesting reading of said rules.
Yeah, the pit stops.
Yeah, the pit stops, which probably could have done with clarification previous, because I was one of the people who pushed it to the limits of only doing 1 driver swap, whereas other drivers did an hour each, and obviously they lost 3 minutes each time.
Every time. Yeah.
So yeah, it was.
Our team only lost 1 minute 45 seconds.
That's because you did. That guy did like half an hour.
He did like the first person, and I just drove 4.5 hours. My arse was numb.
See, that would be the other thing that you would be trying to cover off, because one person doing most of the stints, you're in the server longer, you're not coming in and out and in and out.
Yep.
So it definitely, there's some tweaking to be done from the previous one, but it went well, the last one as well. I think everybody enjoyed it.
I think everyone enjoyed it. It was an admin nightmare. I remember after the race, Chris and I just kind of I was keying stuff into spreadsheets and making stuff up as I went along to what sounded sensible to declare who was the winner.
I was there to make sure the numbers were fine. You were just in the typing.
Yeah.
We got it. We nailed it. We did. We just had to think on our toes, and it worked well. But I think even though I did that big long stint just off the back of it, it was at the time my pedals were so bad. I was like 9 laps down over the course of the 6 hours because I was only 85% power. So guys were just lapping me like I wasn't even on the bloody track.
Were your pedals acting up way back then?
I think my pedals have been acting up since since the day I got the pedals.
Nah,
sorry, I nearly swore there.
It took you until recently to bring the pedals up, and I had them back to you within a day.
So we have a few people in stream. We've got 13 people watching. Hi guys, thanks for watching. Hope you're enjoying the show so far. Georgia Priest says he wanted to watch that. I'm guessing he's talking about the 6 hours.
Yeah.
He was just
yeah.
gutted they couldn't. Briz, hi everyone. Hi guys, that's Darren. How we doing,
Oh.
sir?
Question man, Woody's in. Where's our question, Woody?
Woody's in. Get your question up, sir.
Woody Woodpecker. So
Might just
what's that
be my
about?
advert break.
So what's this about blue flags? Bad Bill says blue flag. Are we having
Bad
a
Bill,
conversation
so-
about blue flags tonight, or?
We actually, I popped into Screwfix today to buy a LAN cable, an Ethernet cable for my PC today, and we ended up getting talking with the girl that worked on the counter, and she's right into her like kind of YouTubing and our Twitch and stuff like that. So she asked for the FRL account, so we gained a watcher today. So she's going to watch the podcast tonight. So hopefully she'll put a wee message up at the side and say hello.
Does she have any interest whatsoever in racing?
She was quite interested in the fact that I was getting the cable to make sure that I wasn't going to get disconnected off of this podcast tonight.
Well, a lot of that comes down to your internet as well. It's not just the connection.
Hamster wheel internet.
Yeah.
My internet's now so responsive. I'm currently right now downloading something in the background, which is a 118 gig file. Whoops.
It's not like you to be doing something in the background. Netflix running, Disney Plus, downloads.
Mum's
That's alright.
downstairs.
I can play the race and get, oh, we've been disconnected, the team's destroyed.
Mum's downstairs watching Netflix. So, like I say, things are now fine. It's not going to happen ever again.
Well, we'll see.
Famous last words.
Yes.
Well, unless the internet itself physically goes down, then that's out with my control. But my little stupid dongle was the problem.
The one race that
What you call it?
the one race that it definitely doesn't need to be happening is the 24 hours of Spa. Can you imagine us getting on 12 with 12 hours to go and finding out that they done gave up because Chris ruined it?
I would honestly kick him from the server.
What?
And no, the 20 hours gone, 4 hours left.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, boom.
Christopher goes, I'll get the last stint. Bang. Oh,
Yeah,
no.
you've been Boltoned.
You've been physically voting, Jess. I need to very quickly just jump up and do something, guys. I'll be back with you in a wee second, okay?
Have you got trousers on?
I do.
Okay. You know what these news reporters are like.
Christ,
I'm
no,
starting to
they
wonder, has
didn't.
he got trousers on? So, why don't we have a quick chat while Chris was going about drivers' ratings? That was another point that we were going to bring up.
So, I get bored. And I like playing with spreadsheets. And there's a couple of different servers out there that employ ratings for their drivers based on how they perform. I got chastised for holding someone up last night. Bad Bull, yes, we might talk about blue flags at some point.
Yeah, I've just seen that.
So, a couple of servers, LFM, do driver ratings based on how you qualify and how you finish the race. They have a very complex system, which is far beyond anything I could do, where all the information gets generated automatically and it's pretty instantaneous. So I thought of a very low-tech way of doing it, which is your race is split up into two sections: the qualifying and then the race. For qualifying, you get a maximum of 25 points you can score, and every position you finish down from first, then that slowly decreases down. So it goes from 25 to 0. And also for the race. So for the races, you score a maximum of 75 points. So if you qualify first and you finish first in the race, you'll walk away with a score of 100 points. If you finish second or third, then you might walk away with a score of 75 or 85 points, depending on how you finish. If I'm playing with my mouse, which is attached to my PC, whereas I probably need to go to this. So if you give me 2 seconds.
If you need to bring anything up, you know how to do it, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Although I keep messing around with my keyboard, which is attached to my PC, and I need to go on here. from
It's
me.
no different from me trying to push the escape button when I was on the PlayStation the other day.
That's not working.
I know. It's
Right,
horrible.
okay. So where are you guys? So you are there. So if I press that, present your entire screen, why not? So this is the inner workings of FRL.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the inner workings of your brain. If you'd all
No,
be in
unfortunately not.
trouble.
Right, so everyone, I assume everyone can see my screen.
Yes, the world can
Right.
see it.
We can.
So this is GT3 Friday on PC. And as you can see on this race, Amir scored 25 points for finishing first in qualifying, but then finished second in the race, so scored 71 points. For that weekend, Amir scored a total of 96.1 points for that race weekend. All that information then gets brought into here, which is our Hall of Fame stats. So this all the information by here feeds the website. So all that information then automatically comes into here. And this is for every race that people do. So where is Amir? There he is. So out of 4 races, Amir scored a total of 182.3 points for the 4 races he's participated in. So that gives him an average driver rating, because he's had a couple of bad races, of 45.6. Okay.
Excellent.
Yeah, so all that information gets brought out, and that the average is for every single race you participate in for FRL. So initially there will be jumps, quite drastic jumps of, if you have a good race, you might jump up to 85, 90. If you have one bad race, you might drop down to 20 or 15, as an example. However, over time, that'll average out quite nicely based against how you consistently perform.
And
What we
that'll give you like where you sit on the slider scale for pro and am.
Yeah, so that's one way to be able to use it. Also, so division tier ones get a maximum score of 100 based on their performance. So 75 and 25, and I'm hoping I've done it. And tier twos can get a maximum score, or amateurs in this case can get a maximum score of 80, based on, because if someone's winning tier two constantly, then they're going to end up with 100 or 90 rookie based on their performance. However, that's not a true reflection of their ability. If they were in the pro section and doing that, then there's more of a justification for a higher driver rating.
Yeah, because
Right,
we
okay.
could
I was just
probably.
about to ask the question
Yeah.
why the drop in 20, but it makes sense.
Well, we can probably use the driver rating along with the hot laps as well. The hot laps give you the driver's actual pace. The driver's rating eventually will give you a driver's overall rating, and
Yeah.
between the two of them, you'll know exactly which tier they're meant to be in.
Yeah.
I need
if
to
any-
get some more races done, or I'll never be in another.
Do you know
than
what?
rookies.
That rating has just sprung on me there as well. I know things do take a bit of time to click in this thick skull, but the more they then start to improve and get constant higher results, that average
Yeah,
Mhm.
moves
the
up
average
slightly.
goes up.
And over the course of 12 weeks or in a season, they'll go from 65 to 74, and instantly you'll see an improvement. And that's when you can start clarification. You can start giving these guys recognition. I can also use it for Alien of the Week.
Mhm.
It could be
Yeah.
used for all these things.
Yeah.
See, we've been
So
looking.
one of the
Carry on,
things, so there's a couple of things I have planned for this. Okay, yes, it's an interesting stat, and people can see and monitor their own driver ratings. They can see it on the Hall of Fame on the website. But also, when so what we've started to do more and more, or what I'm trying to implement on the PlayStation side, is cycles. So we go through a cycle of a number of races, which coincides with Taco Tuesday. Taco Tuesday, I think, on the PlayStation side of things, is seen as the main GT3 race. I don't think there's any opposition to that, especially in this chat.
No, the only other opposition is probably this pure sim gear on PC.
No, I meant on PlayStation.
Oh yeah, it's definitely 100%. It's most popular.
So that is seen as the spine of what PlayStation does on FRL. So everything else kind of falls off the back of that. And what we're doing is using one track a week essentially. So whatever the taco calendar is, Sunday, Monday, Thursday, Friday, or whatever will end up following what that track is.
Yeah.
At
Give my
the end of
dad
the
once a week to run Sunday to Saturday as well, which throws a bit of a span on the works, but hey ho, it works. It's working.
We have a request from Michael Races in the chat just while you're looking at that.
Okay.
He would like you to move over a little page to your gay porn section.
This is my work my work laptop, so unfortunately that's on that laptop.
Right.
Yeah, my personal laptop doesn't have a camera, so I have to use my work laptop.
Oh,
So at the end of each cycle, based on who was raced and what the points are, if you've provided you've done a minimum of like 2 or 3 races during that cycle, then we could award something to the driver that has the highest driver rating for that period of time. That's one of the plans. So yes, okay, it's an interesting stat, but also someone could have an award based on the driver ratings at the end of each cycle, which I think might be quite an interesting thing to do.
yeah. Cool. Excellent.
There we go.
So the clarification on the driver rating. Hopefully, if there's any questions, guys, fire them away. But that sounds pretty self-explanatory. We have a question that's shown up on the live feed, guys. We have INR Bad Bill 450. Can someone
Yeah, we
please
read
explain the blue flag rule once and for all? I got chastised for holding up someone last night.
Right. So
Can I just talk about this one a second?
Yeah. 'Cause
Yes.
We hadn't
Right.
finished.
So there will be races where there are more than one race. So you'll have one qualifying and 2 races. So you may ask a question, how will that get worked out? So this is the rookie series, so there will be a maximum of 80 points in this one. So yeah, just making sure my maths adds up. So qualifying is awarded a bit less, and then you'll get awarded a rating for race 1 and then a rating for race 2, and then that counts as 100 or 80 points in this case, based on the event. So for Sundays, it will be a very similar format of how the points are awarded. So give me 2 seconds. So yes, so driver rating of 20 there for qualifying, 40 for the race, and 40 for race 2.
Excellent.
Cool. I'll shut up now.
No, that's
No, that's stuff that we need to actually
no.
help understand.
What was that? Come back, see Alex. What's that?
Like I said, it's my work. Yeah. Stop presenting.
Yeah, you should do that before you leave the screen. Okay, so what were you asking about the blue flags, Chris?
So
we'll move on now.
Saying, can someone explain the blue flag rule once and for all? I got chastised for holding up someone last night. So Darren's kind of stepped in and says and pointed them towards the rules, but we might as well use this opportunity to go through blue flags, because I think a lot of people and tickets that have been getting put in are actually based off of blue flag. What people are thinking as blue flag flag infringements. However, I'm just opening up right now.
I'm just going to get the rules and put it up for you.
Cool. Are you going to put it up? Excellent.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised you don't know this off by hand.
I do, but it's nice to have. It's better to have it maybe up so as people can see what we're talking about as we're doing it.
Yep. Just click on blue flags, it takes you there.
I don't even know where the blue flags are there.
Right. Ready?
Yeah, so go ahead and read it out.
Can
Each
you
line,
zoom in?
read each line, and then we'll discuss it.
Blue flags, A is the most important one. It starts off by saying blue flags are an advisory only. So when they're an advisory, we strongly urge common sense. So when a faster car approaches a lapped car, you should move off the racing line on a straight. So if you're in a position where you feel that you're defending or you're blocking or hindering the driver who's faster behind you, then so be it. However, last night there was an incident that showed, not an incident, a part of racing that showed that 1 or 2 drivers were actually keeping pace not blocking, not holding up, but they were in fact racing each other, and the faster driver behind was kind of getting a bit confused regarding the kind of the blue flag infringement. We used to have a rule set in place where if you were under a particular time, 0.7 seconds, you then moved off the line to allow that car past, or in a safe manner on a straight by maybe indicating and showing them which way you're going, etc. However, if you're not blocking and you're keeping pace, it's only an advisory. So if it's not a danger to anyone at all, then keep racing.
But you
So
also,
common sense should come into play straight
you
away.
also have to remember that when you're looking in the mirror and that car looks like it's quite far away, it's probably closer. So you might not think that you're hindering that car, but if he's close enough to be just following you, trying to get past you, you could be. So it's still a good idea to make sure that if you're in front of a car, a faster car with a blue flag flying, you still want to get out the way unless you can get ahead of them to where the blue flag no longer counts. Because
So
that
again,
problem comes in again when you're
Oh,
sort of overtake
so-
somebody.
it's in the rules, it's an advisory, so it's commonsensical. So
And
basically, the
that's,
common sense behind it is blue flag drivers are not allowed to defend track position. The moment they are shown that they're defending, like making a move, blocking, etc., it can maybe go against you. But if you're not, if you're keeping pace and you're ahead of the car, then so be it. If the car behind you is fast enough, they'll get past you, and they need to do so in a safe manner, or it can affect their race and potentially a ticket going in against them. So we strongly urge that you have a read of this. Again, the rules are there for everybody to look at. I think a lot of you are just not reading it. I don't want to be the pot calling the kettle black, but they're there in black and white and a wee couple of red lines as well. Red is obviously quite important. Intentional holding up or defending against a lapping car may result in a penalty. So see the word may. It may result. So you're within your right if you want to put a ticket in. We've got a team of stewards that will look at it. There's a team of stewards that will debate it, and then they'll come to a conclusion for you. So by all means, don't be scared off the whole thing that's happened regarding the blue flags. If you feel that someone has infringed your race, put a ticket in. We've got that system set in place to help.
do we know what the situation was for the driver that's asking about the blue flags?
So I think it was down to the fact that if your strategy needs to change for you to then get away from a car that you can't get past who's currently under a blue flag, but they're not blocking you, then so be it. The strategy was changed, and it turned out that the driver only lost about 6 or 7 seconds in total over the course of the few laps that they were behind the car. So in essence, it never affected much at all because the position that they finished was already a few, like 14 odd seconds behind the guy in front. So at best, it would have been maybe 7 or 8 seconds behind the driver in front. So you never know. Obviously, hindsight's a bitch, as they say. But the rules are there. They're being improved constantly. I've got guys in the background working on these all the time. Geo's like kind of working hard to drafting this up and changing it. So all your suggestions are welcome, but they'll be looked at, scrutinised, and then used if need be. So it says here as a reference only, novice drivers should consider yielding when the faster car is within 0.5 seconds. Again, listen to what I'm saying. As a reference only, novice drivers, so guys that are new. You're not new, away you go. Drivers that are new to the server, that are new to the game, that are new to the FRL way of driving. Yes, it's up to them to use common sense. So if you read the rules, it's there in plain sight for you to take on board, and put it into play. We also ask when you're yielding, the drivers do not or must not exit the track boundaries, because it can affect your own race. You can end up getting like out of bounds penalties and stuff like that if you're seen to be gaining any position by being off the track. So just stay on the track, but move over on a straight again, if you're a novice driver and you feel that you are potentially holding anybody up. If and when a driver decides to yield, do so only by lifting off the throttle or upshifting early on a straight. Do not slow down mid-corner because it can seriously cause. We've already had another
There was a ticket raised last night where someone decided to go a bit deep in the double right-hander, and that caused the drivers behind just to kind of clatter into the back of him. And it was just kind of like, I understand you were trying to do a good thing, but that compounded the situation. The easiest thing would have been to go for the double right-hander, flick across the left at Mazzano onto the long straight before the left hairpin, and
just
as
let them
we've
pass there.
discussed, move over to the left-hand side, upshift a little bit early, and the two cars could have passed without really anyone being held up. But we're all learning, we're all trying to figure out. But as Chris has mentioned, Derek's mentioned, Gio's mentioned, even James has mentioned, read the bloody rules.
H and I are good. Faster drivers must accept that time may be lost when lapping a slower car. Well, this is the case for all drivers in the race. And then I, lapped cars are allowed to unlap themselves if they have a clear pace advantage. The unlapping overtake must conform to all the rules. All other rules, sorry.
The reason why H is in there is it's not the bloody Red Sea. If you're lapping someone, nobody needs to dive off the track. You have to accept you are going to lose time, but that'll be the same for everyone else in the same situation.
Yeah.
You watch Formula One as an example. It's probably a racing format which we're all quite familiar with, and there will be occasions where Verstappen will be stuck behind, I don't know, Albon for 3 or 4 corners until there's an appropriate time where he can pass safely. And it just happens. And then Leclerc might get through on the straight and it's shit and get DRS. Shit happens and it will just play out.
It's definitely not Hamilton getting stuck behind Russell anymore, is it?
I need to give him.
So I think Christopher's lost track of what he was doing.
No, I'm dealing with a wee guys.
Right, so we will carry on, will we?
Carry on, regardless.
Okay, so next thing that you had on your agenda was the time trial race, the super race.
Yes, this was.
Do you want to bring anything up? You're going to bring it up?
Okay. So I'll do it from my low tech version, and we'll go back to my. No, I don't want to bring up a window. I'll just bring up the entire.
This actually was very exciting. I think it was a bit of a slow starter, and then all of a sudden, guys started putting times in, and it was tennising, wasn't it? Back and forward and back and forward. There was a 10th here, a 10th there.
So I decided late last night that I wasn't going to stay on until midnight keying in results. So I'm really glad I didn't. I did stay up until midnight to see if there was any extra submissions, but there was only one really late. But also, I thought I'd end up with it being blind in terms of the results, so you wouldn't know if you were submitting a time between 10 and 12 if you were faster than the guy who was already, or if anyone had submitted a time to beat you. So I thought that was quite fun, unintentional, and the fact that I wanted to go to bed, but quite fun in the fact that
were off.
Yeah.
Street lights were on. James to bed.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So ran across PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and PC. There was a total of 20 submissions on PS4, but obviously people were able to submit multiple times. The top 3 in reverse order were Issa Racing with 122.9, SVV_KC with a 22.8, and the winner of the grand prize of 25 English pounds was Lely9 with a 22.5, and that was submitted on the 18th of May. So nobody was able to beat that between the time it was submitted and the closing date. So a huge congratulations to Lely, our Josip, who's been with us for quite some time and getting another title under his belt. I have to kind of think of what emoji we can put next to people's names who won this. But there we go. Okay, so on
The
to
wee
the
clown
PlayStation.
face.
Sorry.
The wee clown face.
The clown face because they're laughing at us all. No.
No, that was more along the lines of James kicking somebody for having a clown face.
Yes, there was a guy called LMFAO. who every time there was an everyone ping, and nobody likes everyone pings, he would put a clown face emoji next to as a reaction to the stream. So when I started streaming the race early, I saw it and I just thought, nah. So I took the time and effort out to find him, tag him into the server, and then kicked him. There we go. So no more clown emojis, please. This is for PlayStation 5, so there was a grand total of 25 submissions. So thank you all for doing that. And the third place went to Ollie Racing with a 22.6. Lely 9 again appears with a 22.6. 635, which is just over 6,000 quicker than Ollie Racing. And these were the two drivers who were submitting their times between 10 and 12 o'clock last night. And the winner, who will probably end up in a McDonald's drive-through at some point, is Michael Races with a 22.5. And the reason why I say he'll end up in a McDonald's drive-through because that's exactly what he did when he won the Race of Champions.
Excellent.
He sent me a picture of him in the McDonald's drive-through, which I thought was quite funny. So if you give me 2 moments, I will find the PC ones because I was useless at keeping these up to date. Unless Keddy's already deleted the channel, and he has. Nice.
Okay.
Oh.
There's a picture somewhere. Hang on, I'll see if I can find it.
You put it in the announcements, talking about the 3 drivers from the announcements.
Yeah, I did, but I wanted to show you because I think there was a little stat which they had done over 1,866 laps between them.
Yeah, there was a lot of laps put in the PC one.
Wow.
Yeah. So in terms of the PC guys, and Michael just let you know they've already had their money. So you've already typed over my bloody announcement. So
he's deleted it and everything, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Oh well.
So the winner was Simone Di Nicola. Second place was Fabio Bini, and third place in the PC was Alfie Barron. In fact, the winner, Michael Races, just sent me a claim. The fast do you know we've had this conversation many times, or too many times, Del, where we're saying that PC drivers, their lap times are actually slower on PlayStation time. So, Simone Di Nicola actually had the fastest time out of all 3 consoles.
Yeah, it was 1:22 to 15 or something, wasn't it?
God, he's nearly into 21 there.
Yeah, it's not far off of 21.
The last one which I recorded was a 22.212.
Wow.
Whereas the PS4 one was a 22.527,
yeah.
and PS5 was again exactly the same as that. Both of them had a 22.527. Is that right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy's just good at that. He's really good at getting the same time as other guys.
So yes, that was the super race. Very slow burner at the start. Changed it from a super race to a qualifier, and then it ended up getting a bit heated. People joining the server to actually compete in it.
Yeah.
More drivers on the grid, and yeah, so yeah, good.
It got interesting when the 3 guys that finally got first, second, and third. They were bounced around for one day, just taking it off each other.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was about 0.35, a 0.26, a 0.92. You're like,
but it's quite funny when you're messaging people going, "Can I have your name, your sort code, your account number, And your IBAN number, because there's obviously a couple of people that there are quite a few of the winners who are European based,
Mhm.
and then or you can just give me a PayPal. And funny enough, a lot of people just went, "Oh yeah, here's my PayPal," rather than me trying.
Let me make a PayPal up, mate.
Yep.
So yeah, that was fun. But yeah, so it's trying to do something different to get people involved in racing and get people to go, oh, they're offering something out to people. Let's join that server, and hopefully it gives us a bit more interest into joining FRL, which is the overall goal.
Yes.
So does
Definitely.
that mean that we have new records for Brands Hatch, or is that not getting counted towards fastest lap?
It's only in quali. We're using those in the laps, so
What about race? What if you do it in the race?
no, just
Nope.
quali lap.
It'd be more difficult on PC for the race, right? Because your tyres are at the best when you've got a full fuel tank.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's only done on qualifying, because I remember when I first started recording the laps, Keddy would sit in hot lap servers, just doing lap after lap, and then sending them to me saying, "These are my new fastest laps." Well, I'm not going to have a leaderboard full of Keddy. So, no, it was only going to be done in qualifying for FRL races, not just in a hot lap server.
It's
Yeah.
good to see Keddy not winning absolutely everything. It's good to see competition, keeping him on his toes, because
It's
he was running away with a lot at one point.
I do feel sorry for him. It'll be interesting to see how November goes, because he's got a whole month off in November, and he's just
Yeah,
going to attack the sim racing.
he
Yeah.
does go back to Brazil for quite a period of time
Yeah.
during that stint.
But no, with the amount of time that he spends flying, you can see when he's got a couple of days off that he starts kind of rusty and works his way up to being a lot quicker again.
Yeah.
But I don't know how he's ever, other than the British GT, which is set up exclusively so as he can race and finish to make
I
sure he
might
gets
just
a win.
cancel it for just shits and giggles.
But yeah, it's hard to imagine that even on PlayStation, Keddy's never had a championship ever.
Oh, I've got one. You've got one, Del.
Yes.
Chris, how many have you got?
Nothing.
You got none. I thought you got one the other week.
I won a race. I've not
Oh,
won a
races. You've won more races than I have, right enough.
Just start setting up events at 1 o'clock in the morning. No, actually, the Americans will just come in and just throw you there.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Just
was that all your points, James? Did you have more?
Oh.
I think I've got a feeling there was one more, but I just can't think of it. Oh yeah, future endurance.
Okay, so we've discussed the PlayStation one.
Yes.
And the theory of the theoretics behind it. So we do have a race that's been announced on PC for our next. I think so. We've tried it a couple of times. 2-3 hours. Meh, people kind of come in, they do their race, and they go away. 12 hours was a lot of work.
It was a lot for the admins, I think, more than anything.
Oh yeah.
Well, we essentially ran the 6 hours of Spa with Del and I. There was nobody else. My PC was kind of going, well, yes, I know, Chris, you jumped in, but
I was at work all day, and I would have helped more.
Yeah, there was a rape whistle going off in James's house. His computer was not happy.
No. I'll talk about something in a second. The 12 hours just too long, because that takes us about 15, 16 hours of pure admin to be able to make sure things are all set up right and the races obviously go smoothly. And at the end of it, we're pissing around with tickets until 1-2 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
Whereas 6 hours seems to be a sweet spot. It's enough to be called an endurance event, and it's not too long where it kills admins off. So our next endurance event is going to be in Suzuka, of the 6 hours of Suzuka. It's up on SimGrid now.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Yes, it's been up since last week.
It's currently a private event, so only people in the server can join it at the moment. So it's been up.
Oh yeah, that was to give the guys that done Spa a week to get their names up, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just about to find
Eight
out
teams already.
8 teams already. So it's been up a couple of days. Got 8 teams booked into it already. Ready. I also think it's probably we're having our little private battle with on SimGrid with a couple of other servers. So Coach Dave Academy, SRO, and then the great name of FRL is in a battle for the most number of followers. We are currently leading. I think this should be a new segment every single week. So
Yes.
SRO Esports have 962 followers. Coach Dave Academy have 1,092 followers, and FRL, the great name, is in front with 1,121
Can I
followers.
ask how you're getting that
Yeah, I
that
still
screen
can't
up which
find it.
shows them all?
Yeah, I still can't find it myself.
So
I've been
I'm
looking.
logging in. Hang on.
So if you log in, you go to hosts and then click
Yeah.
on followers. It's a
Right.
you should sort by descending, and then it appears. So yeah, but if you look at the number of events we posted, so
Yeah.
SimGrid have posted 94 events, SOP have posted 35 events, Coach Dave Academy has hosted 6 events, SRO 12 events, FRL 41 events.
Yeah, so you have to, other than Sungrid, who have got 94 events and they've got more followers, you have to go. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, then it's their followers. There we are. Got it. Right.
You have to go all the way down, and I think we've got the second highest number of events.
No, yeah, second highest number of events, most number of followers. There's
Yeah.
a couple of leagues that have done 1 or 2 events. SOP have hosted 35, done 35 events and got 573 followers. So we're definitely smashing in the number of events. I did joke in the SimGrid owners server that I would just put up another 41 events up just to kind of make sure I beat Coach Dave Academy. And Coach Dave is in that server, so it benefits them because they get more people go travel to SimGrid. So
Yeah.
if we're doing 82 events in a month, then they get more traffic, we get more traffic, and I will end up probably on suicide watch.
I mean, also, though, to be fair, it's not like we're just putting out events there and we're only ever getting 8 people or 6 people coming to the events.
Yeah.
The Friday event is, I don't think it's ever been lower than about 32 people have turned up fully. The endurance events, it's been 20 plus. Uh, the the Wednesdays and Tuesday events were a little bit off, but there was always at least 14, 15 people. We wouldn't run the race without it.
Yeah.
So there's still a good number of people coming in. The endurance race runs about 35 to 40 people. The monthly one, and the British GT is running over 20 people. So it's not silly little events. Even the one-offs are running quite good.
Is
Well,
that
last night we
page
had
being shared there, guys? Sorry.
Yes, it's been
Yeah.
shared.
So I'm just looking at the results from today's race. So
Right.
there was
So it was in 90 minutes of Spa then.
yeah, 34 people who turned up and raced.
Excellent.
42 people signed up, and then we got 10 people just decided. 8 people decided they had something better to do with their evening, including Tug. Tugboat's been a naughty boy.
Sundown.
Yeah. And then there's 34 people who turned up. The winner was a guy called Craig Hamilton,
Well done,
and
Craig.
he did really well. I think they finished second in the 6 hours of Spa. Keddy finished second in the race, and John Beaton, who did really, really well again in the 6 hours of Spa, finished third. So a lot of people are coming back, and that's the most reassuring thing.
Yeah.
Is they're not just coming for one event now; they're actually coming and doing 2, 3, 4 events. So which is really, really cool from my perspective. So our Hall of Fame for the PC, you start to notice names which are appearing and doing 25, 30. Well, I've done 25 events. Rick Tadem has done 28 events, and you get people who are coming back to play.
28 events.
Who?
I think I might have 13 races done.
Where
I
are
spent too much time doing stewarding and not racing.
Yeah, but this is when I was having a strop of everything, and I don't think I recorded the Ferrari World Tour properly because
No.
I couldn't figure out my spreadsheets at the time. But
Yeah.
I fixed them all now.
Hey, you and your spreadsheets.
Considering I had 2 races on the guy that came in, there was a guy that came into that 2 races after it started, and considering he'd missed 2 races, that's almost 100 and something points. He could have beat me if he hadn't missed another race near the end, and it scared me. There's some quick people in this game.
Oh, there's Fresh Briz has put a question in the live chat, guys. Question for you boys: how long does your points from tickets last for? So I think we agreed it's 12 races.
12.
Yeah, so it was when it was originally thought up. It was 12 weeks, but that really did unfair. That was really unfair for people like Chris, as an example, would probably do about 5 races in a week, and that would really hamper the fact that he was going to. I'll probably end up having to kick him from the league after about a month.
Week.
A week, because he had accumulated so many tickets. So what we decided was it would be 12 races. So what we do is we use the number of races accumulated so far in Hall of Fame, and then we do then we pause that calculation and turn on another calculation which kind of counts the number of races afterwards. And as soon as you've hit 12 races, everything drops off.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I think we're going to do a bit of a show and tell of admin today.
Cool.
Shall we?
Yes.
Shall we?
Show and tell of admin.
Let's show everyone what's going on in the background. It's not just flibbers and racing and fast cars and amazing women. There's a lot of spreadsheets and a lot of keying in data and a lot of chasing and setting up check-ins. It's amazing. It's brilliant. It's very, very what did I say to you the other day?
PC's just more streamlined. We can get away with 3 people.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we still work hard on PC, but it's more streamlined. It's easier to deal with.
Okay, so this is our wonderful sheet of, and please ignore. I'm going to hide this column for a moment. Hide column. Right. So basically, I'm going to go down here and unhide the column. Not that anyone can't see this. So, say for example, Derek. So automatically, it comes up with the number of races you've done in FRL. So we'll confirm the date.
Is that total PC and PlayStation?
No, because our names are different on both. I haven't decided to switch them back.
So that's just PlayStation then?
Yes.
Didn't realise I'd done that many races.
Jesus, that is a lot.
Right. So, according to the spreadsheet now, you've scored 11 penalty points, and then you've got active penalty points of 7. So if I change that to 8.
If I get kicked out of the server in the next 5 minutes, I'll be mad.
Yeah, I haven't managed to automate it. So see, as soon as you go over to 7, it flags as red that you have to have some sort of ban. I'm now going to change this to 132 because you've completed another 21 races, and automatically that penalty point drops off. So we remove this calculation, and then that one automatically counts up, and then as soon as you've reached 12, the active number of penalty points drops off. So it's as automated as possible, essentially. So that's what we try and this is what we use to do all our penalty points calculation. So all of our information is in here, and this is how we monitor and track people through.
I don't know why I've still got 5 points there. I've clearly not got 5 points.
Where are you?
Well, you clearly do. It says it right there.
Right at the top.
No, you haven't.
No, you got 0 points. That's
sorry.
Michael's got the 5.
You moved. Oh, Michael's a naughty boy. Right, okay.
Yeah, so, I mean, we can transfer Michael's points to you if you really want them.
No. Don't you dare, James. I can see you're ready to type something in there.
Yeah. So this is
24.
again what we use this is what how we record all the incidents that are going through. The other I've just thought of something else which has been implemented since we last spoke, is the Discord racing teams.
Yes.
They've
So,
they've taken off
lovely.
really well.
So stop sharing my screen. So the reason why there's a couple of reasons why we're doing the Discord racing teams. I haven't liked the idea massively for a long period of time. I like the concept of the idea. However, I just thought it would be an absolute administrative bloody nightmare to manage it throughout the server. However, with the move to the cycle process of like the managing against the taco, which we discussed earlier, a lot of the other races I've gone to a bit of have gone to an arrive and drive mentality. Apart from Endurance Friday at the moment,
It's eased
Um,
such a pain, big time.
mm?
It's eased such a pain, big time. It's fantastic.
Yeah. So and that was on a purely selfish note. From an admin perspective, it was becoming really hard with the PS4 PS5 split to try and get people into teams in quickly before a season starts, and all of us have day jobs to do.
I don't.
My day job's FRL, stroke Timson.
So yeah, it became an administrative ball ache to try and get people into teams. However, I know people like teams and like the thought of the camaraderie, working with someone to help them in the championship. So even though it's been discussed and I've kind of pushed it to the back of my mind for a long period of time, with the move to arrive and drive for all other events apart from Taco, I will sit there and make sure you're all sat in bloody teams together. But all the other events will be
Is the endurance going to stay the same concept, or is it just going to disappear?
Arrive and drive. Arrive
Just arrive
and
and
drive.
drive.
Come in
I
and
don't
drive.
know. I might put that one back to a monthly after this current season finishes.
I think there's about 12 people that like bi-weekly.
Mhm.
I think the rest of the world prefer it 4-weekly, monthly.
Yeah. Well, they voted. We did it by the democratic right of FRL.
Mhm.
We did it by a vote, and the people who voted went for bi-weekly. So we adjusted the calendar at that time. However, in hindsight, it's probably worthwhile just leaving it as a monthly event.
I think
However,
it was timed in a state where we were kind of transitioning as well. There wasn't a lot of races on at that point. People were just thinking, we'll go bi-weekly, we're going to get a race quicker. And
Yeah.
that meant they were getting to race and endurance in 1 week rather than 3 weeks' time. So I think that's what swayed people. But I agree, 4-weekly was very, very popular. And
So
it gave people a lot to look forward to, and they could plan to actually get time away from work and things, because the FRL life is getting very popular now, if you think about it.
So it was originally democratically voted on, and now James is going to go back to the dictatorship. 4 weeks.
Yes. No, to be honest, I think monthly endurance races it gives you an opportunity. 2 hours of your time is an awful. Well, it's not just 2 hours for a lot of these people. Del and I were talking. Was it last night or the night before? The amount of hours some of these quick guys put in to do their practice,
They're clearly single or have a very good wife.
yeah, it's not just 2 hours. Some people put in 10 hours for a race, and again, that's another reason why we've left it as one track for a week, is to give as much of an even playing field for people. So you're not practicing for Monza on Monday, Silverstone on Tuesday, bloody Snetterton on Thursday, and then on Friday, then you're practicing for, I don't know, Zandvoort. You're not. It gives everyone a fair chance. So if you're running multiple events, you then have an opportunity. Anyway, back to my original point. So with everything going to arrive and drive, most things going to arrive and drive. We are going to add the Discord racing teams to add that camaraderie if you want it. It's not mandatory. It's completely optional, and then you can join one of the great teams which is developing. You've got XXX Motorsport, you've got Grass Cutter Racing, you've got
Grassroots Motorsport, get it right.
Grass Cutter Racing,
Yeah.
you've got Red King, SBR, and E Sigma Racing, which has probably got the lowest number of people because I have no time, and nobody wants to get.
Come on, James. You can't be letting Strimmer Motorsports beat you.
Strimmer Motorsports, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Hover mower. Is it electric or petrol? Or definitely petrol.
I refuse to answer that. Very good.
Yes, Fresh Drinks, it is under PC in terms of the Suzuka, but
Yeah.
I will be trying to do something on the PlayStation, not in the not too distant future. So yes, you have the opportunity on PlayStation to join one of these teams, to have that camaraderie, teammates working together, helping each other out, exchanging setups, to hopefully add that bit extra. Also, I think it's quite unique. I'm not sure how many servers have racing teams within a server to be able to join. I might test the water on PC, see how it works in a couple of months' time once I actually figure out what the reward's going to be for the teams and how I'm going to work that. It'll probably be implemented, that and the driver ratings, within the next cycle. But I need to get my head around it.
So we have a question on the chat. I've lost it now. Oh yeah, it was Woody wants to know if we can have Alton Park on the calendar more often. I think Alton Park got a bit ousted because the PlayStation 5 one's got too many or not enough slots, right? Is it 26?
Alton Park, hang on.
And I'd imagine if it's, since you're running the same tracks PS4 to PS5, that's why it's not on PS4 as much either. I think it's 26 cars you can have on it. But I know it was one of the tracks that got ousted when the update first came in.
28.
Is it
28. So, Woody, as long as someone reminds me prior to the next calendar gets created, then you can have Alton Park on there. I don't think we have any issues with getting 28 in a race at the moment. So.
Well, I suppose with the fact that it's arrive and drive for most of the series except for Tackle Tuesday, you could probably do it on an off season from Tackle Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
So if Tackle Tuesday's 8 weeks, you could always have it in between the Tackle Tuesday seasons.
I don't think we have any issues with having 28 cars, more than 28 cars, any of the races. Once Taco finishes, we'll be having a little bit of a wee break between seasons to allow.
You say is a full year off.
Until my hair grows back.
So we're never going back.
It's going back to a Formula 1 race. It's not as complicated.
No, do you know what? I'm actually.
No, don't say it. Don't say it.
I'm thinking of getting the new F1 game on PC and seeing what it's like.
You know what? My only problem with the F1 game is the fact that you have to buy it every year. If they would make it buy the game and just update with DLCs, I would be much happier with it. But the fact you've got to buy it every bloody year is a nightmare. And it's not cheap. It's what, £60 on PlayStation?
89 quid.
Well, on PC it'll probably be about 55.
About
45.
I think it's about 89.99. I think it was.
Yeah, Georgie Boys popped in the chat. I think a monthly USA endurance might need to pop out.
Yeah, I had an idea, and Gamer.
That sounds good.
I had an idea one day, and Gamer quite liked it as well. Having an endurance race where one teammate is British and one teammate is American, and you can have it a bit longer.
Aye, that'd be good. But the whole
be complicated.
endurance race in USA would be fantastic. Every Saturday, every 4 weekly Saturdays, phenomenal.
The American side is starting to come along. It's it took one season, and then they're picking up quite well.
I think George and Guida Kevin have made done absolutely superb things. They were upset when they were getting 8 people in for a race, and we pursued with it. And now we're talking about getting a PS5 server and a PS4 server for them guys to run.
We need more patrons. Come on.
I think what we need to do is downsize the PlayStation side, because apparently less admins does more work. It just seems to stand to reason. PlayStation's got what about?
Don't put 2 pence in me. Don't put 2 pence in me.
We've got
Because PlayStation's got to have about 20 admins just for the European side, right? Between support admins and stuff.
probably about there, aye.
Aye.
Someone's posted up saying, Fort Ballista 030. Hi, and thanks for your question. Talk to me, BLZ. I think that was please. Why does ACC not have cross-play between game platforms? We were asking the same
Marketing
question.
campaigns.
Um,
Marketing campaigns. It's purely on. My personal opinion, and that's just my opinion. I think it's split into two things. First thing, I think they ran out of capability to expand the platform any further on PlayStation 4.
Mhm.
Okay, so I think that was one of the issues between PS5 and PC. I think PC's obviously just has far more capabilities to open it out. The PlayStation community and Xbox community is incredibly restricted on being able to talk to each other. The second point is, I think it was purely down as a marketing campaign to push the 60 frames per second and things like that as an option to drivers, and that's why. I just think it's purely just to get people to buy more games.
Well, the crossplay from platform to platform is it's PlayStation that mostly frown upon it. They don't want you being able to go to PC and play the same games and play with your friends on it because they're losing money.
That's it.
They've always had that problem. But also, just if you take ACC itself, even though PlayStation 5 is now closer to PC, there's no way for them to be able to conjoin the two together. It's just never going to work. Now, what you laughing at? Did I say something funny?
No, we've had,
I've just seen a streamer is currently streaming, and it down to a meme I saw earlier of I'm going to go on to Twitch or YouTube to find some wonderful gaming content, and all of a sudden it's Amora about to jump into a hot tub in her pants. There we go. So please don't leave us. Please stay with us and do not go watch Amora jump into a hot tub in her pants.
Butler
So,
Racing.
which channel is that on?
It's on her channel.
I'm leaving. I'm leaving the podcast, boys. I'll be back tomorrow.
Give him 5 minutes. We've got Butler Racing saying, I've just got a Patreon membership, having trouble accessing the setups. Help, please. Thank you very much, first of all, Butler, for getting yourself set up with the Patreon. I see Woody there. It's the app and the website, pal. So there is a direct link to the app from the website. Then, if you're on your phone, it offers you the opportunity to download that wee app to have it as a saved link on your phone itself. But we'll kind of get on and help you with that, or if someone could maybe contact Butler and maybe kind of talk it through with him.
So is Butler a new driver then?
Yes.
Yes. It's nice to see the new drivers getting straight in on the podcast and asking a bunch of questions. That's why we're here.
The podcast is here for everyone to get involved and for everyone to ask questions, have a bit of banter.
I would like to see more PC guys joining in and at least say hello.
So Craig Hamilton, who won the Spa race earlier, jumped into the chat and said hello.
I thought you were going to say Lewis Hamilton there for a minute.
No, Bono, my tyres are not quite dead yet.
He said, cheers for the Spa races lately, dudes. Fun. Yeah, wee robot face.
I just noticed he's mentioned Bathurst a lot. I guess that's because he's Australian. But yeah, we haven't done an endurance race on PC but me and James and Nate done one. A 12-hour one, which was good fun. I quite like Bathurst. I think I'm one of the very few that does like Bathurst.
Neil's kind of stepped in and helping Butler out. Thank you very much, Neil.
I think I'm the only person who's probably faster at Bathurst in a GT4 than a GT3 car.
That mighty Janetta.
By the time we got finished with the setup on that McLaren for the 12-hour race.
The mighty Janetta.
Yes, it's not just the mighty Ginetta; it's the mighty Ginetta in capital letters for mighty.
I do like the Merc GT4. That's my go-to car.
Georgie says Bathurst should be bumped to the ground. It's
Bathurst,
concrete and tarmac. It'll not burn very well.
my Bathurst. But it's my favourite track. I absolutely love it.
If when you get into a groove on it, it's fine.
Aye.
You still got to know that you can crash. You'll be alright though.
Oh, aye, you can do like 76 laps, and then you go across the top of the mountain, and you catch that curb wrong, and you're in trouble. You run off, you hit the wall, and then by the time you get to the S's, your car's 3 minutes and seven seconds worth of damage before you're exiting Forest Elbow.
Some of your even some of your best drivers take a crumble in that course that you've done.
But it's good when you've got your car dialed in and you can push it. It's amazing. Same when your tyres are perfect and it's just that perfect temperature on track. It's so good, so exhilarating.
Yeah.
And then that race down that back straight into that corner where you take the inside line, it's so exhilarating.
That's where the mighty Ginetta isn't as good.
I know.
No.
it just becomes Ginetta.
Yeah.
You know, it's surprising that I mean, it's probably I've never drove the Ginetta around there, but when you drive the Ginetta on Paul Ricard, it's got to be painful driving down that long straight. But there's obviously enough tight sections that the Ginetta gets it back because I saw you win that race on the GT4s. It was hard pushed. You were getting caught up on the straights, but you were able to throw it out
It's in the corners that we cars.
That was what's it was the so after I won the championship in GT4s, we then did a short mini series of the continental races, wasn't it? So it was like Suzuka,
Yeah.
Kailami, and then at the end we did Bathurst 4 times in like 20-minute races. That was just stupid.
That's because 4 times in a row you were the slowest car down that straight.
Yeah.
Yes.
Worked out to be the same number of laps. It's just so we're time's marching on. So I think why don't we get on with the the alien of the month, the week, the day,
Alien of the week.
the alien out of your mouth.
Both aliens of the week this week, well deserved. I know I say it every week, but this particular PlayStation driver, he's done quite a lot of stuff outside of the FRL. I would say over the course of the last few months, namely the last couple of days, we've seen him kind of doing his wee bit of being like an angel for someone that he met randomly when he was out having a stroll, sitting on the beach, and they ended up spending the night with him, having a drink and stuff. But on track, he's getting faster, he's very technical. You all know who I'm talking about. You can turn one car into a three car wide back end when you're trying to pass this bloody bugger. I'm giving my alien of the week for PlayStation 2, Darren Mark. So also pushing on to the PlayStation alien of the week. It's just
PC.
One act that this driver did that kind of shone and stood out for me. It was involved in the 6-hour endurance that we've just done. The driver kind of stuck it out, even though it was a bit of a kind of difficulty regarding some technical problems. She kind of I'm trying to deflect this away from the fact that it was my bloody fault.
She saved your ass, and that's the end of it.
She saved the day. She finished the last 2-hour stint. She put in some good laps. I'm going to say PC Alien of the Week is Els. So well done, Els. You've done really well. And we drove FRL Racing Team 2, but we couldn't use FRL Racing Team's livery, so we used Elsa's colour scheme. So we were going round in a nice, lovely, like shiny white, pink, and lilac-y, purpley bluey coloured Bentley.
And you managed to duplicate it as well, didn't you?
It's
For the
just
second time.
there was a bit of a kind of technical thing, and then when Els came back in, she managed to duplicate it, and then when I come back in, it was It was a total farce.
Yeah, they had about 7 cars on the track, still couldn't win.
It's this the system itself, the server.
It's
It's
just
done
that.
that thing where it doesn't
Yeah.
recognise your IP address, so it
No,
didn't link it
it's
up.
the glitch when the driver is the first driver in, and the driver
Gets
of the car, they get disconnected. The whole team's got to leave and hope that when you come in, it's fine.
Didn't
But
work.
it doesn't work, and if you stay out of the server, it definitely don't work. So
No.
it's
So-
it's such a rare glitch that it's never really been fixed.
Look
I
at
don't think
that.
there's
Neil,
more people
Neil's
saying it.
saying well done PCL in the week. He's just not going to give Darren a nice gesture. That's terrible, Neil. Terrible.
He did up the top. Look up about 3 messages.
Oh, did he?
Aye.
Oh, I'll retract that.
Yeah, you should.
Okay.
Oh, bastard.
So well done, Darren. Well done, Els.
Don't
Well
take that. Don't take that, Neil.
I'll take it in the year after next time I'm on comms with him.
Yeah. So
Um,
James is also yawning over there quietly and trying to conceal it.
If you want to head off, by all means, we'll do a quick rundown of the standings and finish off.
We're
the
not doing the
podcast.
standings. It's 11. The standings have been missed this week.
Oh
We had
no!
too
my
much
God.
to cover.
Everyone's comedy moment of comedy Dell
I know.
Let's
smashing
listen to
through
Dell
the
butcher
standings at
names.
a rapid
Butcher
rate.
Everyone looks forward to you butchering names
I know
every
that,
week,
but
Dell.
we always
Come on, right.
we always know.
Let's just do one race. Let's just do tacos, right? Do tacos. I just love you butchering names. Go, do it. Go on, please. For me, butcher.
Well, the question is, Chris, are the standings up to date?
Yeah, that's another
Should be.
question.
Yes, I
I
got the
did-
standings up to date last night.
Right. So window. Let's go into the pick and mix.
The Slammers
Hang on,
last
let's see
week
pick
wouldn't
and
connect,
mix.
wouldn't for some reason update,
Fixed.
but I think Thingy fixed it.
Thingy
Fixed it.
Tackle Tuesdays.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So what round was it?
Mazzano.
Mazzano. Oh, yeah, 'cause it's the same for each the whole weekend.
Rest day 4 at Mazzano.
Right. So driver 4 PS. Driver PS4.
It started already. Right, you can get the first guy.
Will Friedman. Although I was confusing him and there was a guy called Freeman or Freeman.
Sean Freeman.
And he
Sean
came over to
Freeman.
PC, and I said, "When the hell did Freeman get a PC?" It was pointed out that I was talking about the wrong person.
Well, it does have a
Can
PC,
you
but he just-
can you imagine our FRL racing team? And if we had Michael Races, Keddy, Traction Dave, Will Freeman, Kraziz, I think we might be doing all right.
You need to stop presenting that because we will never get in a team again.
I know.
Well, we can always have the FRL slow team.
Yeah, and then we'll have Disconnection Chris on there.
No, he's banned. PlayStation admin is not allowed to race on PC.
It's
Right.
not going to happen again, trust me. That's,
Right.
I've not had a disconnection tonight,
So
so
we got Will, Papano, and Sop Steve. So there's Will has a nice 26-point gap over Papano at the minute, and Steve is 29 points behind.
Ooh.
So yeah, okay, teams.
No, driver tier 1, PS5.
Right, okay.
as
So-
always, Michael Races at the top.
Yes.
Look at his run. It's just constant. With Ben and
someone-
DK Drifter on his case.
Something right. Okay, there's something that's gone wrong because Ben Milden is currently Hungarian, and TK Drifter is currently Scottish.
Oh,
What's going on?
and
Somebody's changed the
they're
driver
both
number in
in
one
car
minute.
11 as well, 111.
And Marty Road Racing's life is currently German, and Guido is, I think that's Iran.
So Martha Road Races is German and Scottish.
Yeah, he's
What
Scottish.
the
He's Scottish
hell?
/ Polish,
Mm-hmm.
but he's currently German. So I think something's gone wrong there, ladies and gentlemen.
And the Hall of Fame. That's definitely got to do with the Hall
Oh
of Fame.
look, they've got Hutch down as English.
Yeah,
He speaks
There's a
that,
Liverpool
he
flag.
speaks that foreign language.
Where's his Liverpool flag?
So
I know where it's gone wrong, by the way.
Oh, where?
you like Chris
No.
Woodgate?
No, No.
Are you in you're in the streets just now looking, aren't you?
Yeah. So it's right there. So as soon as we go into web, I bet you it's looking at the wrong cell after a certain point. Anyway, I'll fix this because nobody really
So,
wants me.
are we sure that the standings are right and it's just
Yes.
the names that are
standings-
wrong?
You can
Are
see
they
that
drinks?
it's just for some reason it's tagging these guys with their own flags and numbers.
Mm.
But right now we still have places available for tackle tier 1 and tier 2 guys. It's getting. We've now obviously got it spread over 2 tiers, so we've got like 40 plus drivers, but we want to get 60 drivers. So
You're not greedy, are you?
that's all. So let's go to tier 2. We're in tier 2.
We're in tier 2.
And all the RSRs had an absolute great start. They showed face probably about 12 weeks ago, I would say, maybe a wee bit less than that. It's been doing really well.
I'm not going to say what I thought that said.
Elysium is becoming extremely rapid.
He was always quite rapid though. Him and Lamario.
Him and Lamario were
always
always a kind of team to be forced to be reckoned with, but Elysium's like taking off. He's just pulling in the results.
Tier 1 next season for Elysium.
Definitely. And Ollie.
Kimmy's dad.
And can I just put in here that Hutch would like to swap places with myself, but it's not happening, Hutch. He wants to come down and sandbox whilst he throws me in the deep end. It's not happening.
Well, we're soon going to find out because once the driver's rates kick in, you'll find out who should really be where.
Of course.
Then you got no choice. So are we going to continue with the standings or?
Let's do slammers because I think the guys love this. The late night races are always really good. So they keep the guys on their toes.
Well, last time we went in here, they weren't working.
Yeah, so Will's saying he's fixed it. So let's have a look, see.
And they're not. Oh, they are. Ooh.
Yay! So Fresh Briz is now 23 points ahead. He thought it was only 20 to 21, but I think he's had a couple of additional points for fastest laps, so it's kind of putting him in good stead. Gave my dad hot on his heels with Rico Vantage, and Hutch gave in it real as well. I mean,
I don't think the fastest lap matters. I mean, he's got 3 first places and then a silver.
yeah.
So I mean that's what's making the difference there.
Rico Vantage just kind of came out of nowhere. Just one day pops into the server, and then there's all of a sudden like done 15 races in like 2 weeks. It's crazy. So yeah.
Yeah, he only joined recently as well, a few months ago, right?
I had a 16th last night because I got taken out on the straight in Mazzano, but do you know what? It was just one of those things.
Okay,
Thursdays hasn't started yet.
No.
When did Sunday Slammers come up?
It's not started yet.
That's done one race.
It has.
So Gamer won that one. Then you got Woody and Rashid.
The Sunday Slammers is the fixed car. This is where they choose the car and track.
Oh, the Aston Martin V12.
Yeah, so it was the V12 there. That was an amazing car to drive. I absolutely loved it. Then I think next week's Monza
Jaguar.
and the Jag. So we're looking forward to next Sunday coming, Monza and the Jag. 10
So it doesn't actually, so you sort of picking them as you're going.
Aye.
No, they've been defined.
All the tracks as you see up the top, they've all been picked. So
Well, there's nothing on this one that doesn't tell you tracks or cars or anything.
Right down onto the standings. See the top there? Round 1, round 2, it's got the wee flag next to it.
Yeah, that's an
Italian flag and an Italian flag.
Yeah, so
So you
Monza
you
and
don't know which
Mazzano,
there. And then you got an Italian flag up here.
which will be Imola.
But what I mean is the other ones have all got it written here. It's just when you said it was at the top, I got confused.
The calendar's not been put in there, I
Yeah.
see what you're saying. Yes.
Right. Anything
Time to
else?
get some website development. If you go into the Hall of Fame,
Hall of Fame. PS or PC?
I don't care.
Okay. PS, it is.
Yeah, and the reason why I want to show you is because of what we spoke about earlier, and we spoke about a few times. You've got added to here. You've got the driver ratings, and you've also got the Discord racing team. So the team which you're part of is also being included into here. So that's where you can start to see all the information. If anyone decides to change the Hall of Fame in terms of the order that it appears, Chris, crazies, I may castrate you.
I done that one day to try and find someone, then I never hit Control Z to put it back, and I apologise.
No,
it's
it's fine.
Again.
I just want to check something real quick.
What?
Mhm.
Who's got the most races? It's Chris.
Yeah.
Yes. You can play with the order on this bit as much as you want. It doesn't
He's-
affect the spreadsheets in the
Yeah,
background.
I'm just laughing because Chris said, 111 races is quite a lot. He's got twice that.
How many have I got? Have I dropped? Like I've done 135.
Yeah, 135. See, we've
Yeah.
dropped a lot of
That's
races
still
because we went
quite
to
a lot,
PC though.
considering you've not been taking part in any of the kind of PC races of late. I think you were
the-
actively part of it right at the start, sort of thing, but you've.
Just wanted to
So
check
yeah,
that.
so my PC races, I think I've done about 25 in total.
I'm just going to check that
Really?
because I think Chris was done more PC races than me, and he's never on PC. In our league, I mean,
But you're doing a hell of a lot of stuff in the background.
I do a
Your
lot.
name's
I do
picking
some
up, it's
racing.
burden.
I do a racing. I've done more racing elsewhere. I do more endurance than you do.
Wolfgang.
Wolfgang Kern has done the most races.
30.
Then it's Keddy, Rick. Chica's been in there quite a few times as well.
28 races, is that it for Chica?
Yeah,
Really?
we've not. We may have had events, but not everybody's been in every single event.
I suppose. So I've
But,
done 23 races.
I'm not even in the first page.
No, you've done 13.
I've done 13 races.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So click on the driver rating. I'm just curious a second.
Driver rating, see who's the highest.
And again,
Oh, that's the lowest driver rating.
so yeah, we've got Chris, who's currently got 97.9. Nick and Keddy. Yeah, so it's starting because because it's a lot easier to get all the results and everything in on the PC side of things. So we've had a couple more races to be able to accumulate the driver rating. So it's now starting to average out depending on how people are performing. So it's now starting to take effect depending on who's raced and where.
So you're the next one in line. You're ranked
For what?
higher than most. After Keddy for the admin people. And that means I'm last.
Not Amir, is he not
Not
part
there.
of the support team?
He's up top
He
somewhere,
is.
Chris.
No, he's not. He's on 41.5.
Is he behind you?
Yeah.
Top, up.
Yeah. James is there.
Then he's there.
Yeah, you're just above you.
Oh yeah. 45.6.
Oh, there's
Yeah.
what, point one in it.
So what's happened with Amir? He's done really, really well in terms of like first and second qualify or first and second in race, and then he had 2 or 3 races where he
It's
kind of just
really
went
bad. Yeah, and the
right down
rest-
to the bottom. So it does show if you do have 1 or 2 poor races, then it does plummet. But over time, that should
It'll
come back up
phase
again.
out.
Traction with 4 races. He was the same thing. Done well in qualifying for 3 of the races.
Can I just say, who
and then
would
had
have
a bad
thought
race.
FRL would have been at this point right now, 7-8 months down the line? We started PC and the growth of the whole FRL 8 months ago, and I know I keep saying it, but we keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, just shy of 1,300 members now.
Top of SimGrid is the most popular sim racing platform, sim racing community.
I know we don't have 1,000 people. Why is there so many pages?
It's just because it's automatically put in Dell.
Jesus. I thought I'll go to the end of the pages and figure out how many people there is. I thought there's no way. Okay. I'm going to stop playing with that now.
So in terms of people who have competed in races, sorry, wrong bloody keyboard and mouse. So on PC you've got 368 people who've completed at least 1 race. On PlayStation you have got 330 people who have completed at least 1 race. So just under 700 people have actually completed in 1 race in the server.
Jesus.
And one of them was Racing Royalty.
The Boofby.
Yes.
Yes.
I wish we could have capitalised on that, but we were, 3rd race in?
Yeah, it was
We didn't even have a series set up yet.
Nope.
Right. We're just doing one-offs at the time.
but yeah, growth has been exponential. Hopefully by the end of the year we can hit 2K members, which would be nice. If anyone ever fancies joining us and sponsoring us, that will be massively beneficial and relieve a few of my headaches.
I'm thinking
Yes.
as many fast drivers are really starting to come through. I don't think it'll be too long before you start seeing some bigger
This
competition coming in for a shot here and there,
Butler
just to see how things
races.
are going.
Butler races hit the nail on the head. Someone's basically put, like Darren put, FRL keeps growing and it's awesome. And Butler put, that's because you welcome you guys with open arms. That's why.
Yeah, we keep telling Chris not to do that. He could get in trouble.
No comment.
George, I'll see you on track tomorrow, Chris. Definitely, mate. I'm off this week, so I'm doing a shift tomorrow, but I'm off the rest of the weekend, so
Right, lads,
I'll
do
be
you want
taking part.
to wrap it up? Because James has got his eyes open, but he's tired. I'm tired and sore.
I'm going to go and eat a massive plate of spaghetti bolognese. Bring it to me.
Right, so it was good to see you guys, hear from you, hear all your questions and queries. Thanks to James and to Chris for being on the show. And thanks to all you guys. Make this worthwhile doing. Catch you all later, guys. Bye.
Good night.